Hello and welcome back. We're up to part 3 of my Fill My Cup video series, and today's video is called Brave the Bridge. So I hope that you've taken time to pause, and I hope that you have had chance to think and reflect about the different influencing factors when it comes to self-care. One of the things that I was really mindful of that I mentioned in the last video was about the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. Knowing what sort of foods are nutritious and helpful for us that can energise us and keep us healthy, and actually eating them. Knowing that we need a good night's sleep to be able to optimally function, and actually setting our intentions for a good night's sleep and having the right environment for that. So crossing the bridge is an important thing. Being able to recognise the reasons why those things aren't happening is part of what we've been reflecting on, and now we're going to choose to bridge the gap and prioritise self-care. So what might that look like? What might it look like? I hear a lot of people saying things like, well, actually, I'm too tired to do it, or I've got too much to do, or I know what to do, I just can't do it, or I'm not well. And actually, sometimes we get so caught up in the shoulds and what we should be doing that we can find it hard to ask for help to actually do it. So I was thinking about the story of the Billy Goat's Gruff, which I remember being read to me when I was a child, and it was all about the little family of goats that wanted to go to the field at the other side of this bridge, but they had to cross the bridge, and it was scary because there was a troll underneath the bridge, and the troll would be like, "Who's that Gruffalo on my bridge?" Something like that. And so they would maybe think, well, I don't want to cross the bridge, but they would go across and they would let the troll know that you can't eat me because there's a bigger goat to follow. So ultimately, the reason I brought that up is because of that fear and how we cannot go into this sort of freeze. It could have been so easy for the goats to not cross the bridge at all because they were scared of the troll. But instead they went across, they braved the bridge. They had like an expectation. They saw what was on the other side of the bridge. The grass was juicy and green, and it was what they needed. It was part of their self-care. It was a really helpful thing for them to grow into big goats and to be able to run around and be the goat, be the greatest of all time of goats. So they went over the bridge and they were brave, and they fought the troll back, and the daddy of the goats got them with the horns and went through and do that. So joking aside, and we've got a sense of humour, sometimes it's important to be able to use these stories to help us to get that understanding. I wonder what it is that's going on in that scary bridge. So is it that we don't know what to do? Is that the answer? Is it that there isn't the time? Is it that we maybe need to prioritise some time? Is it that we'd like to let go of some of the high expectations that we have and be able to break through that and allow ourselves to be helped by somebody? Is it that we need some accountability? Is it that we need to do some hard things? Is it that we maybe want to have more of a routine? So actually, everybody's bridge is different, and the things that are helpful for you, my guess is that you are already using those strategies and already encouraging other people to do them, already encouraging them to be able to think about like questioning their thoughts, or calming their mind, or helping them and being kind and having that sort of kindness and compassion. And so actually what this brings me to is an experience and another invite really for you to be able to practice what you preach. And part of that might be really unpicking what it is that you do when you are helping other people. What is it about those particular things that are useful? How is it that it's useful? How is it that it would be useful for you? Can you allow yourself to be supported by somebody else? Are there times when you might have a reason to not do something? Or are there times when actually it's just an excuse and there's no real reason? We just maybe need to get out of our own way and crack on and do the things that are helpful, the things that will take us to the next steps with our goals and our wishes, and to help us to feel good. So it feels like this is a space and this is an opportunity for you to unpick what it is that you do in your life, and really another chance to reflect. What sort of things do you do when you're helping other people? What sort of advice do you give to other people? And which of those things could you do yourself? So I'd often say, like the phrase, one step at a time, building on small habits and doing like little things at a time. And actually they're the sorts of things that are very well known, and knowing that doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it. But I'd like you to think about this and think about whether there are certain things that you know, the small things. What small things can you do that can make a difference? And start with that and build up to other things. So the poster that you may well have already downloaded now, or you might not have done, has a lot of these starting points in and these reflective questions. So make use of that to explore some of these ideas and give yourself a chance to be grateful of how far you've come. Give yourself a chance to be proud of yourself. It's okay to be celebrating your wins, however big or small they are, and give yourself a chance to really think about how you're being in life, and not just what you're doing, but how you're being, and how are you being while you're becoming the person you want to become. So brave the bridge, take the steps to step over the bridge, recognize what's an excuse and what's a reason for you to be on one side, and allow yourself to practice what you preach and take some support from other people as well when you need it. So that's all for now. If you enjoyed this, let other people know, give me some feedback, let me know what you think, and I hope that you take these times to really fill your cup, because you absolutely deserve it and you are awesome.